So I know it may look very beautiful behind me, but we are here for some dark and pressing news. Seriously, it's gonna be a little dark and pressing. But in order to lighten the mood, we're gonna have a little fizzy drink. Coke me. Stop! You're fired. And speaking of fired, now that I'm coked up, let's get down to the real business. Amazon just laid off 30,000 workers, UPS just laid off 60,000 workers. Why? Because companies are choosing profit over payroll. If they can save an extra 6 to 60 million to take home in their pockets every year by replacing 100,000 jobs, they're gonna do it. Because what has the human race done throughout evolution and history? They've chosen greed over ethics when there is opportunity. And right now, we are in the biggest revolution in history involving artificial intelligence, bigger than the Industrial Revolution. And companies see that. And that is why almost 90,000 workers from Amazon and UPS are now probably trying to figure out how they're gonna feed their families. But there is very good news. Yes, thank God, there is some good news. And that is that Forbes themselves said the one thing that is least likely to be taken over by AI in this revolution is a strong personal brand. And what is a strong personal brand? It's a following. Your social media is your digital real estate in this day and age, because even if AI influencers take over, they're not gonna take your following. And guess what? The most successful people in this economy are gonna be the most visible. If you're a doctor with a practice, if you're on social media, you'll get more customers than anyone without that. If you are an artist, guess what? The biggest artists in the world are not the most talented, they're the most visible. If you're a business owner, the most visible will have the most revenue, not the best. And even people who aren't business owners or professionals can now build a social media following based entirely off of their own stories, skills, passions, and hobbies. And today I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that no matter who you are, what your skills are, even if you don't feel like you have any at all. I built a personal brand from zero, grew a million+ following, and monetized into multi-millions by utilizing my presence in an intentional way. And I did this in 20 months, so I know a little something. And I can tell you that growing a social media following is really quite simple once you understand the proper frameworks that are working right now, because social media is ever changing. So today I'm gonna show you the 5 bulletproof content frameworks that are working right now on social media, no matter who you are, what you do, and even if you don't have skills, but you just wanna start growing a social media following. And if this is your first time interacting with my content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to drop so much tea and knowledge on how to grow a personal brand in 2026. And if you've been following me, you should know that I'm reopening the doors to my community November 28th for a limited time. So make sure to click the link below if you want first access. And let's begin. So the first content framework that's performing really well right now is documentary style. This is a brand that's gonna take viewers with you on a journey to some type of completed form of mastery, or just journey of finding an answer to a question, a truth. For instance, day 28 of me trying to find the meaning of life. Today I'm in Japan. Or follow me as I try and build a brand to escape my 9-to-5, day 5. Or say you wanted to teach yourself a high income skill because you want to be a master at something. A great way to combine that with growing a brand is to document your journey and process of learning sales, or learning brand building, or learning another high income skill. A great example of this is someone on Instagram called Marshall Cruz, who owns a clothing company and literally built his social media following by showing the peaks and the valleys and the highs and lows of his first drop, his product creation, XYZ, and over time, his followers became devout fans and even consumers of the clothing brand he dropped. He also utilized something that is really, really important in content that connects viewers to you, which is storytelling. If you go look through his reels, they're very cinematic and they take viewers on a journey with him through every single one of his processes, from launch to production, to even making ads for his clothing. Another example is Cluely, and this is a startup that ended up raising $100 million by growing a following while showing also the peaks and valleys of starting a startup. They documented their entire journey and took their audience along for a ride. And this is a great way if you want to start your first company, because at the end of the day, if the company is started, your followers can also eventually become super fans by getting close to you on your journey, and they will want you to win and also invest in your product. So if you want to start a business, you want to start a company, or you want to learn a high income skill to eventually monetize it, doing a documentary brand is a great way to start. The second one is researcher style. So researcher style doesn't need you to be the authority or the expert, but it's more so like journalism and investigative research on topics such as, how did Blair Richards go viral in 20 months? I'm gonna do a deep dive on her strategies as an investigative researcher, essentially, which will give you credibility in its own way, because you're essentially going to be doing in-depth research and stating facts and figures to your audience in a way that will allow them to trust you. Think of celebrity gossip. Think of just talking talking about random news events. Think about talking about conspiracies. What you can do for this type of brand building is take any one of your obsessions, your hobbies, your skills, your little rabbit holes. If you're a history buff, you can do deep research exploring how Leonardo da Vinci, I don't even know what Leonardo da Vinci did, but whatever he did, you can figure that out. A great example is Ken Sakata. He creates video essays investigating fashion history and garment design. Examples: what were those white tees from the bear? Why are sports jerseys called jerseys? What actually is denim? Each video is a standalone research project, and Ken Sakata went along to eventually create his own clothing brand that he sold out because from his expert research, he still developed credibility in the space and people saw him as an authority as a byproduct of his deep research. So if you ever want to monetize your brand, this is still an excellent way to go. There's also Ryan Toe or Ryan 2, we don't know. Ryan Toe or 2 breaks down playbooks behind social first brands by researching and analyzing how specific creators and brands build audiences. Example, Gen Z versus millennials, who makes better content? Or how this creator went from 0 to 690K in a year. Each video investigates a different brand and creator using the same analytical framework. This is 2 examples of a great researcher brand, and if you eventually want to monetize, there are so many avenues to do so. Plus, what a fun way to literally monetize an obsession you could never shut the frick up about. Now, number 3 is an authority building style brand. This is a brand that I originally started creating because I made my brand explicitly at first to sell my digital product, my course. So an authority brand is essentially positioning yourself as an expert or guide in some arena that you've mastered or are even at least 10 to 20% ahead in than a regular beginner of whatever area of focus you're in. How this brand would work you would essentially build one of your content pillars around actually teaching frameworks to your ideal target audience that you could help, but also making marketing in a way that would make it enjoyable to the public masses or interesting to the public masses too. Great ways that this can work is you can show proof, case studies, you can even do research style videos. You can tell your own personal story from point A to point B. This is a great way to also inspire others to want to invest in your program because if they can see, I started from here, XYZ, I'm just like you, there's a level of mirroring that can go on and it really connects your audience to you. So an authority building brand is essentially saying, I got this result, I can tell you how to get this result as well. It can be a couple other things like rants and opinions, things you stand against in your industry, things you love about your industry, your actual life story to getting here, rags to riches, whatever it is. You're here to educate mainly and establish yourself as an authority. So even if you've mastered studying, even if you've mastered emotions in relationship, even if you've mastered something really niche like selling feed pictures, you have an authority building brand that you can teach others and eventually monetize into an actual course or product. Because believe it or not, whether you're sitting here right now thinking, who would pay me for this information? You have no idea how many people would love to pay you for things you know that they don't. So don't doubt yourself. And especially if you're a high-level professional, you are missing out on a lot of revenue by not having an authority brand. That doesn't just get you more clients, more people in your brick and mortar business, more stages to talk on, and more revenue if you have a digital passive product. Now, number 4 is a personality brand style. This is the general influencer brand you see where this works best for people with pretty big personalities who are relatively carefree, really funny, and it's great for artists too, where you can showcase your art and you can showcase more so a piece of your personality. Now, if you were a comedian, say, you'd want to do the framework of like skits, of like clips of your stand-up, and maybe even really, really big rants on heavy opinions you have, but making it humorous or storytelling. Like, you won't believe what just happened to me in this Uber ride. If people usually say that you're a great communicator and like you're so good at storytelling and you make people laugh while you tell stories, you're gonna be a really, really good personality style. Now, the hardest part with personality style is that even though it works, a lot of people want to be a personality style. And if you don't naturally have a very vibrant personality, something you can do is insert a research element or a documentary element in your personality brand that gives people kind of a direction to follow you. The way that this really works is how your story, your takes, and your energy really make the brand. And even if you're a couple, that's why couple brands are also so big, and couples can make entire brands on making funny skits together, or following funny trends, or doing like couple reaction videos, because the actual people in the relationship, something about the relationship is just engaging or fun to witness. They're goofy with each other. They're very loving, whatever it is. You've all seen those couple pages where people make insane pranks on each other and people love watching because they love the characters in the show. And if you are a great character, this would be a great brand for you, but you also have to be strategic and have general content pillars around skits, day in the life, relatable content, and passionate rants that really showcase your personality. You can also center things around day in the life or your passions, but make it engaging. Think about lifestyle, storytelling, B-roll. Kat Stickler is a great representative of this. She started as a couples brand, but she's freaking hilarious and people love her, so she keeps doing comedy skits. There's also Leo Skeppy, Alex Earl, and Becca Bloom. If you already have a crazy life, especially Becca Bloom, if you are a Nepo baby, milk it. No offense, but like, milk that shit. Because people also are just so curious. They love day in the life. So if your day in the life looks extra different, you could go mega viral just for like, oh, for some reason you live in South Africa on like a very different type of land that people don't see every day on social media. Use the gaps that you have in your life to stand out on content, especially if, yeah, you are a Nepo baby or you have an interesting life as a TV show reporter. People love that. A woman went viral for doing a day in the life as a TV show reporter, and no one would have thought that, but people are really curious about other people's lives. So let people in, make things about your life, and make it engaging and funny and heartfelt or emotionally moving in some way. And the final content framework I'm gonna share with you today is the journalism/worldly style brand. This is a brand that is more so built around others. If you don't really wanna be like the face, this would be a phenomenal way for you to build a brand. And essentially what you could do is you could take a general passion or question you have or understand just based off of human virality and what you see on the internet, what do people watch, right? So this would look like street style interviews where people are in Miami saying, how much do you make a month in Miami? Or real estate agents who say, how much do you pay for rent in New York? Can we tour your apartment? Or School of Hard Knocks, where this guy literally walks up to people and it's the same content framework for every single post, which made it go very viral. This is very important. When you find a framework that works, keep doing it. But he goes up to people who look really wealthy and say, excuse me, sir, can I interview you? Can I interview you? Da, 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 da. How did you make so much money? Super viral. There's also ones that aren't so much gauged around money or humor, but around things like love and questioning the meaning of life, such as Humans of New York. Or Meet Cute's NYC, which is essentially a street style interview thing where people see cute couples, whoever the owner of the brand is, and ask them how they met and gets meet cute stories of people on the street of New York, and people love watching that. One more creator that I'd love to shout out because I personally love him so much is Jimmy Darts. And Jimmy Darts is a Christian who hides a camera in his pocket and goes and kind of tests people on their goodwill. And then if people are kind to him, they find out that he had like $1,000 in an envelope or even $5,000 in an envelope. And he gets these emotional, gorgeous reactions of people getting an act of kindness that makes their entire day. And he's even used his platform to find people and spotlight people, like maybe a homeless person, and raises and fundraises to even buy those people homes. So there's so much you can do, not just monetarily or for yourself with growing a social media following, but you can find really meaningful work and do really good stuff for the world. And so if you have a passion, a skill, a movement you're passionate about, you should be on the internet because you can make a lot of change in the world, not just in your own bank account. You can't just make a lot of change. It's like you can actually do something you love with a lot of freedom and a lot of impact. And it's a blessing. And it's also a necessity right now. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, my program is opening soon. Follow me on my little socials. And because it's the holiday season, I'm feeling so gooey and special in my heart, I've decided to gift you a free master prompt that can interview you and allow ChatGPT to literally write you out an entire brand and monetization strategy in just a few minutes. So check the link below as well to grab that. And I'll see you in the next episode. Toodles.